Nikola Jokic has my vote for the MVP award this season, and this is not something that's easy for me to say, because I really wanted Joel Embiid to win this award. I did. He's my favorite player on my favorite team. I thought he was going to win earlier in the season. I wanted him to win, and Giannis has a great case too, but as good as these two guys are, and they would be pretty easy MVP choices in many other seasons, Nikola Jokic has just been better. He has led his team to the 6th seed in the Western Conference, despite having an absolute garbage roster around him, and he is having one of the best MVP seasons in NBA history. Not just best seasons for anyone, not best seasons for a superstar. He is having one of the best MVP seasons in the history of basketball, and because of that, I think you just have to give him the award. He is, in my eyes, the clear best player in the league. He is the clear most valuable player to his specific team, and he has led his team to a very respectable record in the tough Western Conference of 48-33. And while that only puts him at the 6th seed in the West, it should be noted that he is only 2 games behind the Sixers in the East and 3 games behind the Bucks. So the win gap is not really there. It's not really existent. I just don't know how you can't give it to Jokic at this point. I have tried, believe me, I have tried to come up with every logical, reasonable argument to give this award to Joel Embiid, and at the end of the day, I just can't do it. I just can't make the case for Joel Embiid or Giannis over Nikola Jokic this season. He needs to win the MVP, and let me break down for you why. Last night, Nikola Jokic became the first player in NBA history to have 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and 500 assists in a single season, and he did it in only 74 games. Now, I know that's only 8 games less than the full amount of the regular season, but when you were talking about being the first player to ever accomplish something in NBA history, missing 8 games is a pretty big freaking deal when you consider how many other players have played this game and been really freaking good at it. And those have not been empty stats. As Nikola Jokic has led his team, they are solidly locked in the playoffs now. They've had the 6th best offense and 15th best defense in the entire league, and Nikola Jokic is the only reason their offense is not at the very bottom, and is a part of the reason that their defense has been respectable. The man finally got in shape this offseason, and he really has been a good defensive player. The last few seasons, people have been sitting there and they're like, oh, he has good hands, he's high IQ. Didn't matter, okay? Anyone who actually watched the Nuggets play, even last year, knew that Nikola Jokic was a negative for this team on defense. But this year, he has just looked so much better. His body is finally able to keep up with his mind. He's still not a great, shot blocker or anything, but he has the mobility to not be just straight up fried chicken on the perimeter when he switches, or in the pick and roll, or even at the rim against other players. He has just a little bit more burst, a little bit more ups, and he's able to get it done on the defensive end and be a legitimate positive for his team, while also being the best offensive player in the league. Can we all agree on that? I know there's other guys. Curry, when he wasn't in his slump, was maybe better. LeBron's really good. Giannis and Embiid are really good. You got Luka and Kevin Durant, but being honest here, guys, being completely real, Nikola Jokic has been the best offensive player in the league this year, and is having the best offensive season for a center ever. I'd say the only one that really comes close is maybe Shaq in 2000, and with his free throw woes, I don't see a way that you can give it to him over Jokic. With the playmaking, the incredible efficiency, he's just so dang good. We have never seen another guy do what Nikola Jokic does. He is a freak in an era of freaks. Look at these stats, alright? 27 points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists, 1.5 steals, and a block. And he is putting up these numbers on 58% shooting from the field, 34% from 3, which isn't great, but is passable, you have to card him out there, and 81% from the free throw line, which is pretty darn good. And that 58% from the field is not coming right at the rim. Yes, he gets to the rim, and he's one of the best finishers at the rim in the entire league, but this dude gets it done from everywhere, alright? Nikola Jokic in the 2-point range is shooting 65% overall, 77% at the rim, 0 to 3 feet, 61% from 3 to 10 feet, 57% from 10 to 16 feet, and 47% from 16 to the 3-point range. This man is money from everywhere. He's a great mid-range shooter. He's got an amazing floater package. He can score in the post, obviously. He's got a lot of post moves, and he can hit threes. If you leave him open on the 3-point line, he will punish you for it. And it's not like he's just taking spot-up shots either or just post-ups. This man can dribble. He's not, James Harden or Steph Curry, but for a big man especially, Nikola Jokic has a very good handle. He's very good at driving to the rim. He just does everything so well as a scorer, and people see this 27 points, they're like, well, Embiid's scoring more, Giannis is scoring more. Yes, but neither of them are also averaging 8 assists a game. And for the record, those 8 assists would be higher if his team didn't suck. The main guy he's giving the ball to is Will Barton, who is a brick. His efficiency is actually not as bad as I expected, but, he's not a great player. Okay, Will Barton is 3rd on this team in scoring and 2nd in shot attempts. That is terrible for any team. Will Barton should not be your 2nd leading shot taker on your team. Will Barton is taking 5 less shots a game than Nikola Jokic. 5. That's awful. That sounds wrong to say. Aaron Gordon, yes, he's improved, but he's not really someone who can create his own shot in any way. Monte Morris does it a little bit, but then off the bench, with no Michael Porter Jr., no Jamal Murray, the bench is like Jeff Green, who, he can score at the rim, and that's literally it. He's old. Austin Rivers is inconsistent as hell, and even at his best, he's just not that good. PJ Dozier. Bones Highland has looked like the 2nd best player on the team at some times this season. And look, I love Bones Highland. He went to school 15 minutes away from where I live. Shout out Delaware. But he's a rookie and he's inefficient, and a lot of games he sucks. For all his highlights, there's also a lot of games where he's completely non-existent on this team. Facundo Campazzo has been awful. This team around Nikola Jokic is so much worse than any other team with a guy in the MVP race. Booker on the Suns, Luka on the Mavs, Ja on the Grizzlies, Embiid and Jokic, obviously. His team is just so much worse than any of their teams, even before the Sixers got James Harden. Embiid had better help than Jokic did. Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey are both better than anyone else who has been healthy on the Nuggets roster this season. It's just the truth, alright? Sixers fans like to sit there and, it's fun to hate on Tobias Harris. I do it sometimes too. But, let's be real, he's clearly better than Aaron Gordon or Will Barton. He just is, by a lot. What Nikola Jokic has done this season for his team is utterly historic. I really can't think of a comparable season. You look at some of the best seasons in NBA history where you've got guys who are great at scoring and passing and rebounding. We have never seen another player who is this good at all 3 of those things at the same time. The best I could think of is maybe Wilt in 1967, and I would say Nikola Jokic is a better passer than Wilt Chamberlain was, although Chamberlain was definitely a better rebounder. When your best comparison is the best season of Wilt Chamberlain's career, just give him the MVP already. Just give him the MVP already. This is the best season we have seen from a player since 2016 Steph Curry, and I'm going to tell you all this right now. Maybe I'll be wrong. I'm sure people will come and let me know if I'm wrong, but I'm going to say this right now. Next season, if Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. come back healthy and they look like the guys they're supposed to, they keep improving at the rate that they were before, they look like the 2nd and 3rd stars behind Jokic, not only will this Nuggets team be terrifying and arguably the title favorite, I seriously think they're going to win over 60 games, but Nikola Jokic is going to have people crapping their pants over how insane he is, because this is what I'm picturing next season, with a guy who is finally getting some help, after having one of the best seasons in NBA history. You give him some help, and you put in the fact that he's probably going to improve slightly on his own like he has every single year so far. We could see a 27-point, 14 rebound, 10 or 11 assist triple-double on 60+% shooting from the field. Because when Nikola Jokic has actual space around him, he has actual teammates, he's going to get easier shots. And when he has teammates who can make shots, he's going to get more assists. This man might have one of the, legitimately in contention for the best season in NBA history next year. I really think he's going to be that good. I think he's going to run away with the MVP next season, unless Joel Embiid or Giannis, improve like crazy out of nowhere, or Luka or somebody else. I do not think it's unlikely that Jokic will three-peat an MVP, is what I am saying right now. He's going to be insane. So when the Nuggets are one of the best teams in the NBA and a championship favorite, and Jokic is looking even better next year, and suddenly everyone is talking about how good he is, just letting you know, I told you so. Thank you all for watching.